Today, I'm going to walk you through 15 revolvers that have absolutely exploded in value. And more importantly, why it's happening. We're not just reading price charts, we're talking recoil, trigger feel, carry comfort, and the real history behind these guns. By the end of this video, you'll know which models are true blue-chip collectibles, which ones you can still shoot and enjoy, and which sleepers you need to grab before the market wakes up. So check your safe. Check your dad's old nightstand gun, because one of these might already be in your house. Number 14 is where the big bore crowd perks up the Charter Arms Bulldog in .44 Special. The Bulldog's whole appeal is big bullet, small gun. It hides like a chunky .38, but launches a heavy .44 slug, giving you real authority out of a compact package, rounded edges, fixed sights, and a grip frame you can actually conceal under a t-shirt. Make it a realistic, everyday carry, not a range toy. The trade-off is recoil. Full-weight loads give you a healthy shove, but it's controllable. Back when they were cheap, people tossed Bulldogs into glove boxes and nightstands and wore the finish off. Now, shooters and collectors both want a classic big-bore snub that still makes sense to carry. So, clean 70s guns command serious premiums. At number 13, we hit the Smith & Wesson Centennial J-frame family, hammerless pocket revolvers like the Model 40 and Model 42. Their strength is deep concealment that actually fits real life. That fully enclosed hammer and rounded backstrap let the gun glide out of a pocket or ankle rig without snagging on keys, lining, or jacket strings. It's the ultimate, always gun. The revolver you still have on you when it's 110 degrees and you're in shorts. Early steel and airweight Centennials have pre-lock, pinned barrel construction, and surprisingly good triggers that smooth out with use. Modern versions copy the shape, but the older guns look cleaner in the lines and feel better in the hand. So folks hunt down the early Centennials, and prices on honest, unmolested examples climb every year. Number 12 steps straight into history with the Webley Mark V in .455 Webley. The big strength here is character mechanical and historical. Pop that top latch, and the Webley hinges open, flinging 6 empties out in one go. It's fast, satisfying, and unlike anything you're going to see on a modern duty belt. On top of that, these revolvers rode through trenches, garrisons, and dusty outposts across the old British Empire. The point. .455 cartridge is a big, slow punch. In that fat frame, it feels more like a firm shove than a sharp crack. Tons of Webleys were shaved for .357 ACP, which destroys originality. So, unmodified .455 guns with correct unit markings and matching parts are genuinely scarce now. Collectors are paying for that unique combination of clever top-break design and real wartime pedigree. Rolling into number 11, we get to the plainclothes legend, the Colt Detective Special, 2nd generation. Its strength is simple 6 shots in a snub that still feels like a real service gun. You get a 2-inch .38 special barrel, an all-steel frame, and a grip you can actually hang onto instead of just pinching. Compared to a 5-shot J-frame, that one extra round doesn't look huge on paper, but nobody complains about more ammo. Add in a smooth, stacking Colt double-action pull, and you've got a snub that points naturally and lets you work real defensive drills, not just slow-fire strings. Today, the world is full of lightweight 5-shots, but very few compact 6-shot revolvers with this level of fit and finish. That blend of capacity, controllability, and law enforcement heritage is exactly what pushed clean detective specials into collector territory. At number 10, the guns get big and loud with the Ruger Super Redhawk. This revolver's strength is being unapologetically overbuilt for magnums. Huge frame, long heavy barrel, and integral scope mounts scream handgun hunter, not nightstand gun. In .44 Magnum and the bigger chamberings, that mass turns brutal recoil into something you can manage off sticks or arrest, especially with decent grips. Bolt on a scope, and you've got a legitimate deer or hog rig for thick brush and feeder ranges. The guys and gals who buy these aren't worried about pretty bluing. They're worried about whether it goes bang every time in bad weather. That reputation as the revolver you can trust on a cold, wet morning in the deer blind is why early, complete Super Redhawks with original rings and boxes are getting expensive. Number 9 sticks with the classics, the Colt Frontier 6-shooter in .44-40. Its strength is Old West authenticity. Mechanically, it's a Colt single-action Army variant, but chambering it in .44-40 lets cowboys feed both their revolver and their Winchester lever gun from the same belt. The plow handle grip, moderate pressures, and black powder roots make it far more pleasant to shoot than today's hard-kicking magnums. And visually, it looks like every Western poster you ever saw. A century of hard use, refinish jobs, and kitchen table gunsmithing means truly original Frontier 6-shooters are scarce. When collectors find one with sharp barrel markings, honest finish, and no improvements, they know they're looking at a real piece of the era, not a replica. And that direct link to the Frontier is exactly why these have jumped so high. Sitting at number 8 is the Smith & Wesson Model 57 in .41. Magnum, the connoisseur's magnum. Its big strength is ballistic balance. The .41 Magnum hits noticeably harder than a .357, but doesn't beat you up like a full-tilt .44. Especially in a heavy end-frame with target stocks. Add S&W's classic adjustable sights, wide target hammer, and trigger, and you get a revolver that feels like it was built to make good shooters better. On the range, they're accurate. They track smoothly through recoil, and they have just enough snap to remind you you're not shooting .38s, because .41 was always a niche choice. Far fewer Model 57s were produced, and for years they sold to a small, loyal crowd. Now that more people are discovering how sweet the combination really is, that limited production plus real performance has made early Model 57s some of the hottest end-frames around. Lucky number 7 is the stainless tank, the Ruger Redhawk. The Redhawk's strength is toughness, plain and simple. Ruger built this big frame .44 to live on a diet of heavy loads without shooting loose. Thick top strap, beefy cylinder, solid frame, and a reputation for surviving abuse turned it into the default backcountry and guide gun for a lot of folks. In a chest rig or strong side holster, it isn't exactly light, but that same weight tames full power .44 Magnum and makes follow-up shots possible when a hog or bear decides to move. For years, owners treated Redhawks like tools scratched, sweated on, left dusty in trucks. That workhorse strength, the feeling that you can trust it when things get Western, is exactly what's pushed values on nice Redhawks higher every season. Number 6 pulls us back to Colt with the original Colt Trooper. This revolver's strength is delivering a classic Colt feel at a blue-collar price. Medium frame, .38 or .357 Magnum, good adjustable sights, and that slick V-spring action make it a joy on the firing line in 4- and 6-inch form. It was built for cops and armed citizens who wanted a serious duty revolver but couldn't justify Python money. For decades, Troopers sat in used cases priced like any other service gun because everyone was chasing snake guns instead. When Colt Python prices left Earth's atmosphere, knowledgeable buyers started looking for something with similar lockwork and handling that they wouldn't feel guilty actually shooting. They landed on the Trooper, and that underdog strength, real Colt craftsmanship without the prestige tax, is what turned them into classic sleepers now rising fast, cracking into the top 5. The Smith & Wesson model, 14K38, proves you don't need the word Magnum on the barrel to be special. Its strength is pure, repeatable accuracy with friendly manners. This K-frame .38 special wears long barrels, excellent target sights, and some of the nicest double-action triggers S&W ever put in a service-sized revolver. On steel or paper, a good K38 makes you look better than you are. Recoil is mild, the muzzle hardly moves, and it's easy to shoot long practice strings without fatigue. For years, These were just target guns sitting under glamour models like the 19 and 29, as shooters rediscover bullseye, DA revolver work, and classic matches. They've realized the Model 14 is one of the most efficient tools for turning ammo into skill. Number 4 is the modern workhorse, the Ruger GP100. Its strength is being the .357. You can actually run hard without babying. The GP100 uses a beefy frame, full lug barrels, and a robust lockup that's happy to live on a steady diet of magnum loads. Rubber grips with inserts soak up a lot of the sting, so you can shoot real .357 Magnum all afternoon without feeling like your hands went through a meat grinder. Folks use these for everything home defense, woods carry, competition, and long training days. Because they're so durable and easy to live with, they became the default throw-it in the range bag revolver. Once people realized early, clean GP100s weren't staying cheap. The market adjusted quickly, and that run-it-hard strength is the reason they now sell for more than a lot of flashier but less durable guns. Sitting at number 3 is the Smith & Wesson Model 19 Combat Magnum, arguably the most beloved duty revolver on the list. Its core strength is balance of size, power, and feel, built on the K-frame. The Model 19 carries flatter and lighter than an N-frame, but still handles sensible .357 Magnum loads without drama. The 4-inch heavy barrel and adjustable sights make it point like an extension of your hand. And the classic S&W trigger is the stuff of legend. For decades, this was the sidearm of highway patrolmen, detectives, and armed citizens who wanted the same thing the pros carried. Pre-1982, pinned and recessed construction marks the high-water point of S&W duty revolvers. That blend of perfect duty balance and peak build quality is exactly why nice combat magnums now command real money instead of riding the trade-in shelf. Runner-up at number 2 is the Colt Trooper Mark III. Where the original Trooper leaned on old-school clockwork, the Mark III's strength is its modernized guts. Colt gave it a transfer bar system and coil springs that made it tougher, more drop-safe, and less fussy about staying in time. In practice, that means a Trooper Mark III can be shot, carried, and actually worked without needing a revolver wizard on retainer. On the line, it still feels like a Colt good balance in 4- and 6-inch barrels, real accuracy, and a trigger that, while different from V-spring guns, is easy to run well. When Python prices went insane, informed buyers started looking for a genuine Colt, .357 they could own and not baby. They found the Mark III, and that tough, no-nonsense strength is exactly what pulled it into collector status. And at number 1, no surprise, sits the pre-1970 Colt Python with royal blue finish. Its strength is simple to say, and hard to match peak revolver craftsmanship in a production gun. That deep blue polish, sharp edges, and hand-fitted action make a good Python look and feel like a custom shop piece. On the range, the heavy underlug and full-length rib tame .357 Magnum recoil. The sights are crisp, and a tuned double-action pull feels like it's running on glass. Add decades of movies, TV, and magazine praise, and you've got a revolver that became the mental picture of top-tier wheelgun. Pre-1970 guns sit where the finish work was at its best, and production numbers were relatively low. That blend of craftsmanship, shootability, and icon status is exactly why Python prices didn't just climb, they exploded. Look back down this list and you'll see the same pattern over and over again. Guns that were built strong, shot well, or carried real history eventually got noticed once the supply dried up. When you spot that combo early, you're watching tomorrow's price spikes in real time. Drop your thoughts below, and I'll see y'all in the next one.